Now that the weather is more consistent, even these zinnias have self-seeded. My seedlings are up, and I have installed a rainwater catchment system. So I figured it was time to feed the garden to generate more growth. I planted sweet peas in the spring for a small crop and to add nitrogen to the soil. But as the weather has warmed up, they've begun to die out. So the first step was to clear most of them out. I ate a lot of them over the spring and had a good last big harvest. In addition to flowers, I plan to use okra as a crop and a pollinator because they produce lots of flowers. I already had a few seedlings growing, but it wouldn't hurt to put in a few more near the end of the bed. I always do cucumbers, and this year I wanted to try dill to ward off pests and as an addition to making pickles. I'm adding it to a bed for tomatoes and will later add basil, so all those smells will confuse as many bugs as possible. I'm really enjoying the rainwater system, and since I installed it, I've not had to use any utility water for the garden, and the plants seem to really respond to it. With all that preparation done, I was now ready to feed the garden. I like to grind up leaves to use as a fast broken down fertilizer. I added that to all the beds a few days earlier. My next step is to collect all my old soil from containers and mix that with compost before adding it to the beds. I'll do several rounds to add to each bed. This way, I refresh the old soil and give each bed a fresh topping of compost to help the ground up leaves do their work. Once every bed has gotten their topping of compost, I was now ready to add a good layer of leaves I collected and stored away. Some were from my yard and some were from neighbors. I always make sure they've not used pesticides on their lawns, so that is not collected with the leaves. Every bed will get a topping coat of leaves. So I'm doing composting in place in addition to retaining water in the soil as the weather heats up. The leaves will provide food for worms and a nice blanket for those hot days when water wants to evaporate from the soil. Once I've emptied my stored bags of leaves, I start gathering them from spots around the backyard. and on to adding some to the raised bed bucket stand. I've put in a combination of beans, peanuts, and eggplants for that bed, with chili and bell peppers in buckets, with another bucket for sweet potatoes. Then on to the strawberries, followed by the pole beans and summer squash. Here is a view of all the beds after they've been fed with a good top layer of leaf mulch. And finally, all the fruit trees have come to life. The peach tree has taken off, and I even found a small peach. The banana plant was hit by the cold weather, but has now come back with 5 banana plants. The blueberry plant is loaded as well. And a friend even gave me a Japanese plum tree. But I'm still taking a wait-and-see attitude with the mulberry cuttings that seem like this time they've taken. While I was doing all of this, I didn't realize I was being spied on by a nosy neighbor. I guess he wanted to see what all the noise was about. See you next time.